Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, August 11th, 2022. We're about to do a live program with an in-depth planetary puja. We'll be using the chart of now, the South Indian style chart, for the locations of planets and stars based on my location, which is here in Florida. Thank you for coming. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer, and I'm very happy to be hosting these calls Monday through Friday. Dr. Pillai has said that the planets and the stars are more than just objects in outer space. There's also a divine light being associated with all of them. And in doing the puja, we're invoking these light beings and asking for their blessings to come into us and into our world. And the planets are both out there in outer space, the stars, but they're also inside of all of us. All of this is interconnected. And in doing the planetary puja, we're helping to awaken these energies and having some inner realizations of our own as we go along doing the puja. We're working with the South Indian style chart, which has squares and shows all of the zodiac signs as a different box on the chart. There is a tutorial link below this video in the description area. If you're not familiar with the layout of the South Indian style chart, perhaps later you could watch that little video and that might help orient you to the layout a bit better. Today, the Ascendant in my local area, which is presented by the letters AC for Ascendant. This is also called Lagna in India or rising sign in some books. The Ascendant right now is in the sign of Virgo. So when we start work with the chart, we will start here in Virgo. Then we're going to go in a clockwise direction around the chart, and we'll stop in each sign that has a planet in it and work with the planets. We'll work with the stars they're in, the archetypes that rule those stars, the planets that rule those stars, and the planets that rule the signs as well that have the stars in them. On a side table here, I have this chart drawn on a chalkboard in chalk, and I also have a lit tea light. I have a little bowl of water. I have a bell. I have a hand fan, and I also have a bowl with fresh flower petals in it. I'll be working with these things as we go along during the puja. You're welcome to just watch this, or you're welcome to participate on your own at home. However you wish to do it is fine. If you want to have this on in the background while you're doing something else, like, I don't know, folding your laundry or something, that's totally fine too. Dr. Pillai has said there's benefit even to just hearing the sounds, as the names of all of these divine beings is a quantum sound or a mantra. So there's positive vibrations that come through their sounds. We're going to start with, first, I take the little bowl of water and I dip the ring finger of my right hand into it. And I'm going to sprinkle some drops of water around all four sides of my little blackboard. I'll put a few drops on my own head, and I'm going to send a few drops out into space towards all of you, representing those of you who are watching live and those who might watch the replay later, so that all of us are participating in the puja from sacred space, from a purified area. Next, we're going to start with invoking Ganesha, the archetype who removes obstacles, and also he's an archetype who is a patron of astrology. We use the mantra Om Sring Gung, SRING GUNG. Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles for all of us in doing this puja, and we thank him for his help with this. Now we're going to honor the different time elements or time shaktis that are active right now in this local area. We're going to honor the planet that rules the day, the star or nakshatra that the moon is in, the tithi or the moon phase, the planet that rules the hour, and we'll also invoke the elements of the yoga and the karana. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day. Today is Thursday, ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put flower petals on top of him as we do his mantra. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the star that the moon is in. Right now the moon is in a star called Shravana. Shravana has several symbols. One of the symbols is an ear, representing the energy of listening. And with Shravana star, one can listen beyond the words of what people say, but we can listen to what's in their heart. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Now we honor the tithi or the moon phase. Right now the moon is the 15th waxing moon. In English, we call this the full moon. In Sanskrit, it's called Purnima. Dr. Pillai said in honoring the moon phase, we would use the Sanskrit name followed by the word Devi, which invokes the light being associated with that moon phase. We put the flower petals on top of the moon. Om Purnima Devye Namaha. Om Purnima Devye Namaha. Om Purnima Devye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules the hour. The moment in my area, we are in an hour ruled by Venus. I put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Dr. Pillai said for the yoga and the karana, we would not use flower petals. We would just say their names 3 times each. The yoga right now is one called Sobhagya, which has energies of good fortune. Sobhagya, Sobhagya, Sobhagya. The karana right now is one called Vishti, which has energies that are inefficient. Vishti, Vishti, Vishti. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. Dr. Pillai said we would always start with the ascendant sign, and we would honor the planet that rules that sign. The ascendant right now is in a sign called Kanya or Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. We honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now from Virgo, we go in a clockwise direction to the first sign that has a planet in it. This is Tula or Libra, which today contains Ketu. We honor Ketu. I put flower petals on him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in a star called Vishaka. We honor this star, and I put flower petals on him. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra can give blessings for leadership and courage, and Agni can give blessings for transformation and purification. We ask their blessings, and I put the flower petals on top of Ketu. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Libra, which is Venus. I put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign that has energies of balance and harmony, today containing Ketu, which is sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasier sign with planets in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto retrograde, the moon, and Saturn, who is also retrograde. When planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We're invoking the 3 outer planets in addition to the traditional 9 Vedic planets, as this year Dr. Pillai commissioned statues for Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and had them energized in fire labs and put them into his temple in India, in Chennai area. So we are using these 3 outer planets now as well. We invoke Pluto, and for him we're going to use the mantra Om Krum Kuntankaya Namaha. I put flower petals on Pluto. Om Krum Kuntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kuntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kuntankaya Namaha. Pluto right now is in a star called Uttarashada. This is a star of success. It's a star that activates blessings when we experience gratitude, and it can give long-lasting success. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, archetypes who each embody a different and unique divine universal principle. We ask for blessings from all of them. Om Visvadevasyes Namaha. Om Visvadevasyes Namaha. Om Visvadevasyes Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the moon. Today the moon is in the star called Shravana, a star sometimes symbolized by the symbol of an ear, can help with listening and helping with even listening to what's in people's hearts, even more than just what they say with their words. We ask for blessings from this star. First, we honor the moon. I'm sorry. First, we honor the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we honor the moon, the moon star. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Om Shravanaye Namaha. Shravana star is ruled by Vishnu. We honor Vishnu, an archetype who helps with protection, he helps with health, and he even can help with wealth creation. Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. Shravana star itself is ruled by the moon. Again, we honor the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we honor Saturn for being in Capricorn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Dhanishta. This is a star that can help with prosperity, music, and good reputation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Makara or Capricorn, which is Saturn. Again, we invoke Saturn, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities. Today containing Pluto, a planet that can help with rationality and science. The moon, which is our mind and our emotions. And Saturn, a planet that can give blessings for patience, discipline, structure, and compassion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Meena or Pisces, which today contains Neptune retrograde and also Jupiter retrograde. Again, when planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We honor Neptune, and the mantra we will use for him is Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purva Bhadrapada, a star with the fire of Kundalini and a star that can give blessings for purification. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada's star is ruled by an archetype called Aja Ekapada. Among other things, he can give blessings to help us experience deeper levels of silence and forgiveness. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor Jupiter for being in Pisces. Again, we invoke Jupiter, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada. Dr. Pillai says this is a star that can help with business development. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on top of Jupiter. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by an archetype called Arbundiya. Among other things, he can help to guard precious things. We ask him to guard our treasures, our valuables, our precious things. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Uttara Bhadrapada star, which is Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Pisces, which is Jupiter. Again, we honor Jupiter, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. I have a small doubt. I think I forgot to do the Tamil chant asking all the planets to be beneficial to us. So I'm going to stop for just a moment and do that chant as well. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. We ask all of the planets and divine beings to be beneficial to us. We thank Saint Yana Samundar for teaching this chant, and we are grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now we continue on with the puja. We pause for a moment and we reflect on Meena or Pisces, the most transcendental and metaphysical of all the signs, today containing Neptune, a planet of intuition and a planet that helps us to understand our own inner self, and Jupiter, the planet that helps us to be receptive to spiritual teachings, helps us to have good spiritual teachers and to have good relationships with our spiritual community. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Rahu and Uranus. We honor Rahu and Uranus first before we invoke the star, as they're both in the same star today. We start with Rahu, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Next, we honor Uranus, and for him, we use the mantra Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Rahu and Uranus are both in a star called Bharani, a star symbolized with the symbol of the yoni, which represents the female private parts. This is a star with a tremendous amount of divine feminine energy, or Shakti, or power. We honor this star. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama, an archetype who, among other things, is an archetype of justice. We honor him, and I put the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aries, which is Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha, or Aries, a fire sign with very active energies, today containing Rahu, a planet that can help us make friends with new technologies, and Uranus, a planet that can help with high intelligence and innovation, and also a planet that helps with astrology. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi sign with the planet in it is Vrishabha, or Taurus, which today contains Mars. We honor Mars, and we put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in a star called Kritika. This is a star of truth. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Kritika star is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun, and I put flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Taurus, which is Venus. We put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha, or Taurus, a sign that has very grounded energies and yet is also very luxury loving. Today containing Mars, a planet who is one that likes victory consciousness and has energies of both the warrior and the healer. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi sign with the planet in it is Karkata, or Cancer, which today contains Venus and the sun. We start with honoring Venus. I put flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Venus is in a star called Pusha, a star that is considered to be the most spiritually auspicious of all the stars. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Pushaye Namaha. Om Pushaye Namaha. Om Pushaye Namaha. Pusha's star is ruled by Brihaspati, a form of Jupiter as a wonderful spiritual teacher, and so high that sometimes he's even the teacher of other archetypes. We honor Brihaspati, and I put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. Pusha's star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn, and again, I put flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we honor the sun for being in Cancer. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. The sun is in a star called Aslesha. This is a star of mystical energy, mystical power. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Om Asleshaye Namaha. Aslesha is ruled by the Nagas, ancient beings who have tremendous wisdom and know secrets about cycles of time. We ask for their blessings, and I put the flower petals on top of the sun. Om Nagasye Namaha. Om Nagasye Namaha. Om Nagasye Namaha. Aslesha's star is ruled by Mercury. We honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Cancer, which is the moon. We honor the moon, and I put flower petals on him. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Karkata, or Cancer, the most emotionally sensitive of all the signs, today containing Venus, planet of happiness, diplomacy, and enjoyment of material plane comforts and the arts, and the sun, which represents our soul and also is important for our health, as without the sun, we have no life at all on this planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Simha or Leo, which today contains Mercury. We honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury is in a star called Purva Palguni. This is one of the stars of relationship energy, and it's also a star of rest and relaxation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Purva Palguni star is ruled by Bhagya, an archetype who can bring good fortune. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Purva Phalguni star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Leo, which is the sun. We honor the sun, and I put flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Simha or Leo, a sign of power, a sign of tremendous energy and leadership energies. Today containing Mercury, planet of communication, planet of commercial success, and planet that helps us to organize all the details in our daily life. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now I'm taking a lit tea light and I'm holding it above the chalkboard that has the chart on it and the piles of flower petals. And I'm going to pass it 3 times in a clockwise direction above the chart, offering the element of light to all of the divine beings that we have just invoked. Now I'm taking a little hand fan. Some of you could use a lit incense stick if you like, but I have a housemate who's sensitive to scent. So I'm just using a little hand fan and waving that 3 times in a clockwise direction above the chart, offering the element of air and a cooling breeze to all of these divine beings. And now I'm taking a bell and I will offer the element of sound 3 times around the chart. Now I make prayer hands and make a sincere prayer to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to give us blessings and send blessings into the lives of our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire planet. May everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs. And may everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. And I make a bow. You can continue for a minute to make your own prayers in silence, and then we can do a short Q&A. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day or our evening in peace. I can open up for a few minutes for short Q&A if you want to post questions in the chat. Thank you all for your participation and your support. I know some of you have other programs you're attending today or other things you're going to do, and I just say thank you and hope that you may press the like button or subscribe to the channel to help the channel to grow. Ranaka is saying, please throw some light on the significance of Purnima Tithi, that's the full moon phase, which we're in right now. I understand many enlightened saints were born on this date. I don't know about that, Ranak, how many enlightened saints or individuals were born on this date, but the full moon is always a very auspicious moon. It is a moon that, is full of the light. There are some of the different moons during the year are very special, like I think the moon that Swami Ramalingam turned into light on, the Thai Purnima is a special one. But I think that the full moon is also very full of goddess energies. And Dr. Pillai has said the full moon is a good time to invoke the goddess, connect with the divine feminine, and also to pray for your material manifestations, to pray for the kinds of things that the goddesses especially help with. So if you're looking for a job or looking for a house or wanting a new vehicle or those types of things, this is a good time to do like the Shrimbrisi mantra for money, or any of the other goddess mantras that you work with. But it's a good time to focus on the material plane. What are the things that we need to be dealing with right now? The new moon or the dark moon is a very spiritual time. So that was the time to go inner, maybe to connect with Shiva or use mantras like Om Namah Shivaya. But the full moon is a very good time for the Shrimbrisi chanting. And there is a Shrimbrisi, I think, official YouTube channel if you want to learn more about that mantra, and they have different meditation and chanting sessions on that one. The Pillai Center Practice channel also is having chanting sessions to help prepare for Ganesha's birthday, which is coming up later this month. And I think they're showing clips of different videos that Dr. Pillai has done about Ganesha. So whether you're watching them live or watching them on replay, there's a lot of good stuff happening over there as well. So, but the full moon is always an auspicious moon. It's a very, bountiful light. And so it's a lovely time. And the aura of the full moon can extend one day before the full moon, the day of the full moon, and the day after the full moon. So all three of those days can have good energies. If you're like writing mantras or things like that, they help energize all of that. Okay. Sherry is noticing in the chat, yesterday Mars transited into Taurus later in the day after we had done our puja. He went into Taurus, and she said the stock market goes up a lot. So Taurus is a sign symbolized by the bull. And even on Wall Street, they have a big bull statue, which I think is a perfect representation of Taurus. And Taurus is a luxury loving sign, and he's a sign that does help with finance. So Sherry's saying Mars, which is a planet that likes to be victorious and win, moved into Taurus and the stock market went up. So sometimes you do see these indications of, planetary energies being active in the world and affecting, mundane things as well as spiritual things. So that's an interesting point. Thank you for sharing that, Sherry. Thank you for that. Okay. Not seeing any other questions in the chat, and I want to always be very respectful of your time. Tomorrow and Friday, I won't have as much time to do Q&A because there'll be another program coming up right after our program where Ronnie needs for me to clear the Zoom channel so she can prepare for another program. But today I could take a few questions. So thank you again all for being here. It's lovely to be doing this puja together with people that are in different states, different countries, even different continents. I love that YouTube allows us to have this spiritual community across time and space like that. Thank you all. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. May light encompass all.